I'm always really pleased when we get students coming to join us at postgraduate level and tell us that they wish they'd been here all the way through. We are an extraordinary department, and I think students find that when they arrive with us.
Everyone comes onto the degree in the same route. They can take the same courses, but depending on which courses you take, you can exit with either a degree in biblical studies, in church history, in systematic theology or theological ethics. So it's really designed for you to be able to make the degree what you want it to be through selecting courses and exiting with a specialist qualification if that's what you want.
Systematic theology has always been a strength at the University of Aberdeen, and we have 3 professors in that area plus 1 postdoc who's come to us from Princeton. Amongst the professors, I guess our expertise more than anything is in 19th and 20th century German theology in terms of our research, but more broadly Reformation and Protestant theology from the 16th century onwards.
I teach New Testament studies because it allows me to engage with some of the texts that are incredibly formative for Christians across the world, but not only for Christians but for actually wider culture. I think they're fascinating texts that have a real richness and depth to them, and there's so much you can explore, not just aspects of theological significance but also social elements, identity formation elements, and they're just really interesting things to look at.
For the graduate students, I tend to do more advanced studies in the writings that I specialise in, the writings of Christian theologians from the early centuries. And then for doctoral students, I take a range of doctoral students working on the New Testament, working on early church material, both historical, theological, and I also take people working in contemporary theology, especially Eastern Orthodox theology and issues pertaining to all of that.
So the Department of Divinity has a really great community. It's a very friendly atmosphere where there's real collegiality between staff and students. We have an international community, which is great because we get to hear a whole range of perspectives when we're discussing topics and interacting with each other. And as master's students, we very much consider you part of the wider postgraduate community, so you can connect in with PhD students and with faculty members as well.
I think really the Divinity Department is working hard on creating a non-competitive community, so that's really about learning from each other. I also really see that in how the different disciplines like biblical studies, history or theological ethics are working together and enriching each other.
As a department, we have world-leading scholars who are recognised internationally for their research, particularly their research impacts. And we have specialisms in a number of different areas. For example, the Barth and Bonhoeffer studies is a particular specialism within Aberdeen, but also wider than that, we have specialisms in biblical studies, in church history, and in systematic theology and theological ethics. Each of our faculty members is distinguished in their field and recognised for what they do.
I think the expertise within the Department of Divinity are just so varied. Everyone is pursuing something that's so important to them, but it means that you get the opportunity to be involved in so many different things, like whether you want to kind of specialise more in feminist theology or disability theology or the things that you genuinely care about, there's someone writing on it.
We have amazing facilities for studying divinity. Not only do we have our own specialist divinity library, which you're welcome to access, but we also have a new acquisition of the Ratschau Library, which is a phenomenal German language library resource. You'll also be able to access the wider departmental events that take place across the year, so that can be specific lectures such as the Gifford lectures or the Hay of Seaton lectures, or it can be just visiting scholars that we have who are coming internationally and delivering their research within the department.
I have a community of other students and their families as well, who will form this one big, almost like a big family. We're all here together. We all support each other, not just in academics, but also in our personal lives as well.
We're able to form and create together a really rich and diverse community of people who represent almost every nation around the world.
I feel as though I've inherited a community, an atmosphere, a kind of feeling about the place that's been around for a very long time. A place that engaged in giving people really good and solid groundings in theology and religious studies, and a place that produced world-leading scholars. In fact, it's remarkable how many people in senior academic positions throughout the whole world are graduates of one form or another. To my mind, being head of department has been about preserving that identity, enhancing that brand, and ensuring that we continue into the next half a millennium with the kind of success that we've had in the last half millennium.